What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the page. My name is LaShawn Kinley, and I'm a women's confidence and leadership coach. And today is the day that we have to sit it down and we have to talk about setting boundaries. I know. No one wants to set boundaries. Everyone wants to be likable. Everybody wants to be accommodating, but at whose expense? We have to talk about why it's so important to set boundaries and how setting boundaries actually shows your confidence level in you, how you manage your time, how you manage your energy, how you manage your emotions, how you manage the people who are around you. All of this is just self-awareness, and self-awareness comes from being confident in knowing who you are. Let's dive into it. So you guys, I don't know why boundaries is like such a curse word for certain people, but boundaries allows you to know that you are self-aware in knowing what you do and what you don't want, what you are going to take on and what you're not going to take on, what you are going to allow to be around you and what you're not going to allow to be around you. It is good to have boundaries. Everybody does not deserve to have access to you at all times. Setting boundaries allows for you to have balance, have peace, and just to have more joy and fluidity flowing through your life, okay? So when we start with boundaries, it starts with your self-awareness, knowing what you like, knowing what you don't like, knowing what you will accept and what you won't accept, knowing what's crossing the line for you and what's okay. You have to know these things, because if you don't know, how do you expect other people to know? How will other people know that they're crossing the boundary unless you know that it's a boundary that you have set for them not to cross? So we have to be self-aware in regards to how we're communicating with people, how we're sharing the things in regards to the things that we're accepting of and what we don't want, knowing our expectations of other people and setting those expectations, right, of what they can expect from us, of what we will expect from them. These are all things that are setting our boundaries, and it allows us to work and walk within our confidence, because it's allowing us to say, I am setting this and I'm sticking firm to this, and this is going to allow me peace. This is going to allow me to work productively. This is going to allow for maximum performance from me. This is going to allow for me to just live in my fullness and my joy. So this is why the first thing you need to do is to be self-aware and know your value, know what you want, know what you don't want, and set those expectations accordingly. The next thing you want to do is have very clear and direct communication. When you're setting boundaries, you have to be clear on what you want. You have to be clear on the expectations you have, and you have to be clear on the communication that you are delivering, right? So if you are saying, you know what, I don't want to take phone calls after 6 p.m. I don't want to work on the weekends. I don't want people encroaching on my time when it's my me time, my self-care time, right? I want to make sure that people are respecting my sacred devotional time when I have morning prayer or I'm doing morning devotionals. I don't want that time interrupted, because that's my personal sacred time with me and God. Like, these are all ways that you're setting boundaries. And when you're communicating that to other people, it allows for them to know, okay, 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. or 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. I'm not gonna, I'm gonna make sure I give her space. I'm gonna make sure that unless it's super urgent and very much so an emergency, then I'm not gonna bother her in that moment. And then allow people to know what are emergencies to you, because certain people, what they consider emergency may or may not be an emergency to you, right? So let them know, these are the 3 cases that you can, bother me. These are the 3 emergency cases that you can interrupt me. And that way everybody is on the same page when it comes to the boundaries you have set, when they can interrupt you, and how you would like to flow throughout your day, right? Communicating when changes happen within your schedule. That allows them to know, like, okay, something has changed. This season is a little bit different for her. Her time will be in this type of capacity. This will be her availability. So setting boundaries with people and just communicating those boundaries to them allow for a more flowing communication. It also removes the gray, so you won't look like aloof, or it doesn't look like you're being rude. It just allows them to know you have a lot going on in that particular season in your life, or it allows for them to know that you're really dedicated and focused on accomplishing a certain thing within that point in your life. So just making sure that you have direct communication, expectations that you have from people, what you require from them, what you want them to expect from you, what you can give at that moment. All of these things are allowing for direct communication, and that is key when you are building your confidence and exuding your confidence when connecting and speaking with others. Next is staying calm and being consistent. As a person who is exuding confidence, or as a person who wants to build their confidence, one of the things that we can tend to do is overspeak. One of the things that we can tend to do is over-explain. Some of the things we can do as well is, not be consistent in regards to the things that we want, the things that we're requiring, the things that we're asking for, because that means we're not clear ourselves in regards to what we want. Consistency means you have a vision, you have a plan, you have action points to get there, and you're going in the motions to get there. That is very consistent, and you're persevering within that way. When you are not doing that, it just shows like a lot of confusion. It shows that you're indecisive. It just shows that you're not secure in regards to what you're going after and what you're actually requiring and expecting and all of those things. So ensure that you're consistent with the things that you say, the things that you're communicating, and that you're consistent within the boundaries you set. If you said, do not disturb me at this particular time, and then someone disturbs you, you have to redirect them back to, hey, remember we had that conversation about me needing this particular time, so I'm going to need to stick to that because I'm really trying to achieve a particular thing. So it's really setting those boundaries and actually sticking to it, right? That's a consistency within that. Remaining calm, right? You don't need to be irate. You don't need to be rude. You don't need to be all over the place. When you're all over the place, that means that you don't know and you don't have control over your time, your energy, and the way that you are responding to things. So make sure that you're taking the time to self-assess, remain calm, look at the situation, and then see how you can go about it in regards to ensuring that your boundaries are in alignment and are being respected. Next thing is to prepare yourself for some discomfort, okay? You have to accept that you may have discomfort come your way. A lot of people aren't used to working within boundaries. They're used to just doing whatever, whenever they want, and you giving them answers, you giving them feedback, you being accessible to them as they need you to be accessible to them. But that doesn't work for you, right? That doesn't work for you in your own path. So you have to be prepared and aware that you may feel some discomfort when setting your boundaries. You have to make sure that you are going to really stick within the boundaries that you set. That can be discomfort for you, that can be discomfort for other people, but as long as it's a very clear communication in regards to why you're setting those boundaries and what your needs are, and really take an inventory of what the needs of the other person is, like making sure that you both are playing within each other's boundaries and that no one's overstepping or creating any gray lines. So discomfort may or will come, and it's just walking through that, talking through that, so that both individuals are on the same path. But you still have to stick to your guns and what you said your boundaries are. And then lastly, there has to be consequences. If somebody's overstepping your boundaries, you really have to then assess the accessibility to that person. Should I keep that person around? Does some distance need to happen? I already told them in regards to I need some time in this particular area, or these are my boundaries, and I told them my expectations. I have all these things set up, and they are aware of that. I communicated it to them clearly, and this individual or individuals are not respecting that. Now you may have to come up with consequences in regards to what you need to do to keep you within the path that you're trying to stay within, to keep you within the safe space and the joy and the fulfillment that you're trying to stay within. You have to come up with what the next step will be in order to ensure that those boundaries are created and that they're not overstepped again. It just depends on the severity of the conversation that you're having with that individual and what is actually going on. But definitely there has to be consequences so other people can know and be assured that you are serious in regards to the expectations and goals and boundaries that you are setting for yourself and for others. All right, you guys, so I hope this helps to really anchor you in setting strong boundaries for yourself, knowing when to say no, knowing how to create time and space and energy for you, for the goals that you have, the vision you have, how to create strategy and to move forward within the ways that you want to move forward within this life. It is okay and necessary. It is necessary. I repeat, necessary for you to have boundaries in order for you and others to be able to partner and to be able to work together and to be able to live within this human world and human experience that we're all living in. I hope this video has been a blessing to you. If it has been, share it with others and tell me, do you have your own techniques in regards to how to set boundaries? Leave them in the comments. Let's start a discussion. Tell me about ways that you had to use them in different situations before. I'll share a few of mine in the comments below as well. I'll see you guys in the next video.